Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Detroit Become Shit.
It was already shit.
Don't worry, everybody. I've taken a shower. I'm more calm now.
Did you have some tea?
You got
No,
these happy peels.
Sorry, Shiro. Over here in Portugal, we usually only drink coffee, not tea.
I've had tea over there. Drink your
Well,
tea and calm down.
No, don't get me wrong. Like we serve tea. We serve tea in my workplace, Shiro. It's just that, and to be not there's not a lot of demand though. It's mostly coffee.
Sure.
Anyway, why don't we explain to the audience what we're doing
still
here?
here just to stop her?
Yes, stop distracting me, Shiro. Basically, everybody, I thought I'd make a little extras part, showing off a nice just to give a good glance of how different the story can go in terms of your choices, by showing a climax that's basically takes the exact opposite choices that I took in our playthrough. I would like to credit Rabbit Retrospect Games because he did such a great job in capturing this that I thought I would use it. Credit to you, dude. Please check his channel. His logo is right on the bottom right corner.
I'll leave a link in the description while editing. Don't worry.
Exactly. Basically, it saves me a lot of hassle. So thanks, dude. All right. So in my playthrough, I decided to take the peaceful protest. However, let's see what the other option is. Let's take the humans into war. Let's basically, Jova, we're going to war against the humans. Yeah, Jova's completely lost interest.
I'm guessing this is a playthrough where both North and Jacob died.
No, I think North is still alive, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
You know,
assault on the camps or March people.
You know, one thing I've noticed that's really bad in the writing department is that practically
there you go. North is still alive.
Is that practically...
and Josh, he's not.
Wait, no.
Sorry.
Josh is still alive, but he doesn't approve.
My bad.
Go ahead, Jova, you were saying.
One thing I noticed is that no matter what you do, North seems to fall in love with you by the end of the campaign.
Yeah, it's very easy to just unlock her route.
To be fair, you can choose to negate it, though.
Reject her.
Yeah, I thought one of the
It's
choices
wonky, though.
I thought one of the choices would have been like, alright everyone, I planted explosives inside your necks while I was hypnotizing you. If you don't agree with my decisions, I'll blow your heads off.
By the way, Jova, the Rabbit also shows us different choices that I chose in this section, so we also get to hear some more dialogue from Hillary Trump.
How nice. Anyway, also, another point I want to point out is like, well, it really is bad that the game writes it that, oh, the only way you can have it so that everyone survives is if you do a pacifist, peaceful protest, and just that alone. Like, that's really sugarcoating the idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. Pacifism be nice and all. Like, you know, no violence. That's nice. But that's incredibly,
naive.
Yeah, to put it nicely. It's like, again, there's never really been a big amount of success without sacrifice. I forget what famous about a media said it, but yeah, success comes with that huge sacrifice.
Well, that's just common sense in general from anyone who actually knows anything about these kinds of things.
And I know what some people will say, Bo, but Jova, technically NPCs die.
Oh, I'm hacking.
You know, maybe it was kind of stupid of us to give them those capabilities if we're so scared of them in the first place.
And by neutralize, we mean we shot.
Oh, here you go. Let Jova listen here. Go ahead.
That's absurd. There's absolutely no connection.
Really?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Just gonna say this.
This is the biggest joke in the game.
Okay, no, this contradicts itself. If androids, according to you, are not living beings, why do you feel the need of necessitation of concentration camps? Really?
That's a good question.
You know, David.
Because humans are shit.
David, people who aren't full of shit very rarely feel the need to try to assure us that we're not full of shit.
I'm sorry, when your average Captain Planet episode has more coherent narrative and a premise than yours, it's just mind-boggling. Oh, goody, he's getting
Alright, so, Jova. So, Jova, here's an alternate thingy. If you do get caught while trying to cross the border, you'll be sent to one of these concentration camps. So, let's go full Holocaust on this shit.
Sure, why
Exit
not?
the truck.
Oh, come
yeah.
on, David. You don't want to plagiarize Schindler's List and making everything black and white except our Alice.
So yeah, if you do manage to get caught as there's these two, Kara's storyline takes this entirely different direction where it's all about trying to survive inside the concentration camp. Just enough time so that Markus can come and save you guys.
Of course. And it's under those circumstances that Kara gets to properly meet Markus, I guess.
Yes.
Well, remember, she already talked with him in order to get.
Well,
the
you know what I
permission
mean,
to
though.
go.
Like a proper interaction.
Yeah,
Sort of
yeah,
something
yeah.
on the levels of, like, what Connor and, Connor and Markus got to do, at least. Oh, no, the poor child.
Don't worry, Jova. Since the humans are evil, irredeemable pieces of crap, we're going to take the war to them and completely kill them all.
Also, does Alice's stress level have anything to do with anything?
She'll go now.
Well, I'm assuming if you let it rise too higher, she'll go nuts and explode or something. I
It's
don't
David
know.
Cage we're talking about, Pedro. When has that stuff ever mattered? Like, let's not forget,
True.
when did the temperature in Fahrenheit matter? It
I've
never did.
I only did this chapter once, so I could get the specific trophy from it, and I never really touched this again. So I wouldn't be able to tell you, honestly. And quite honestly, I don't care enough to go check.
And even if it does, folks, there's a reason we assume it doesn't. David has had chances galore to make that sort of stuff matter, yet more often than not, he doesn't.
That's the interesting thing about this, the platinum of this game. Usually, the golden trophy of a David Cage game is to see all the endings. But in this one, no. Which I kind of, like we've already established, yeah, it makes kind of sense because there's way too many different endings. It would make the trophy look quite much of a grind.
Oh no! Look at that, exposing their more
Wow.
new
Yeah,
form.
basically the thing. Take off your clothes and basically this is the actual raw form of the androids as they come out of the factory, basically. With their
Subtle,
skins.
David.
How subtle. For those who may not be so versed in history, everybody. In concentration camps, Jews were forced to stay naked.
A lot of time, if not all the time.
Or wear those blue stripes ones.
Yeah. I'm not an expert in historian expert, but that much I do know. Don't worry, since they're devoid of a thing, we don't. There's no nudity, at least not the traditional type of nudity, so we're fine.
Of course, though, this doesn't count
So,
because they're not human.
If he says it's cold, is he gonna freeze to death?
That's the thing, Shiri. We're not human. We're just pieces of plastic.
That's the thing, sure. There are still quite a few YouTubers to this day that censor the nudity of Madison in her first chapter of Heavy Rain. But like I've said, technically it's okay because it's considered artistic nudity as long as there's no sexual activity.
Tell that to the bots.
But that's the thing, Teo.
Actually, doesn't YouTube even have like a rule on like
it does, Teo.
versus actual?
Teo, what better proof than our very own Heavy Rain playthrough, Teo? That does.
I already stated that the bots act very irrationally. It may be happening in 10 years or tomorrow, for all we know.
Or in an hour, we don't know.
Yeah.
Your own playthrough is also safe.
Still stand my point, Pedro. I'm not counting on YouTube to use rational logic.
I know.
YouTube doesn't use logic. YouTube doesn't do anything. We should probably censor this conversation.
There you go. Just like in history, they have to carry the dead bodies, the ones that are alive.
On their own.
So, and they specifically
Well, in
have
this instance, she requested to do it, but yeah, they were about to be made to.
You see, everybody, what I'm doing here is creating a wonderful, clever allegory to the Holocaust. It is beautiful.
allegory. No. Allegory implies that you actually change something. Like, it's literally the Holocaust.
It also doesn't help because, oh, look at the pile of bodies. It also doesn't help because this is the first time that David tries genuine, quote-unquote, shock value. But
And
so
I
it
will- sorry,
clearly
hold
shows
on.
how
Sorry, Taylor,
amateur.
I'm gonna have to interrupt you
Sorry,
there.
sorry.
Here's an interesting choice that you can take. You can choose to abandon Alice and escape easily on your own. However, most people tend to not do that.
Yeah. But it just shows how amateur David is at at this kind of storytelling. Mind you, I know the normal answer will be, oh well, fucking duh, because he doesn't know to write normally. So what chance does he have at shock value? It's still it's still sour, especially considering how delicate the subject matter is.
And negotiations begin to grant us equal rights.
Like, again, he literally has the precedent try and say,
Thanks,
oh,
Markus. I didn't need to know that. Just move aside from the camera.
And
That was
public opinion
totally
decreased of us
necessary.
because we're just that evil. All right, everybody.
Time for a badass revolt.
Time to kill the humans. They're gonna pay for all that they've done to us.
You know, of all the starts of the Terminator franchise, the Rise of the Machines, this was one that I didn't need to know about.
Okay, Jova. So, as you can see, these are the radically different ways Markus and Kara storylines can go. So, probably wondering, what about Connor and Hank? Well, remember, as you might remember in Jericho, you get to choose whether Connor becomes a deviant or if he remains loyal to his mission. Let's see what happens if you do choose to remain a machine and not side with the other androids. Because remember, your main mission is to at this point is actually to kill Markus.
yeah,
Checkpoint
yeah.
acquired.
For
Charge?
Zion!
Sorry, to use the wrong franchise.
There's Connor. So yeah, what happens if you choose to let Connor continue to be a machine and continue his mission of trying to kill Markus and end the revolution?
Assassination.
Find advantage. Oh, a sniper attempt.
Very good, Jova. Sorry.
Alright, David Cage attempted. Mind you, David, these are big shoes to fill because the Sniper Elite series showcase how badass can you be at sniping people. So let's see what you got.
Basically, if you haven't formed any kind of bond with Hank over the course of the game, you will be able to just do this assassination very easily without any issues whatsoever. However, if you do manage to convince Hank that there's still faith to be had in androids more than humans, like we've seen, he will show up here to try to stop you, as you're about to see.
Mm-hmm.
There he is.
This is just too easy.
That's the thing, Jova. If you didn't bother to bond with Hank, it would be that easy. So that's interesting.
Keep out of this, Lieutenant. It's none of your business.
It is quite random to build up a bond with him and then at the last minute decide, nah.
No. Remember, Shiwa. He's not betraying Hank. He's betraying Markus. Technically, he never did anything to Hank. He just decided when Markus gave him his one choice, become a deviant or not. Markus chose to go against Markus. Not Hank has nothing
Markus
to do.
chose to go against Markus.
Sorry.
Connor chose to go against Markus.
Sorry,
Okay, we got it.
Connor's decision on
Oh.
nothing to do with Hank.
Oh, snap.
You just didn't. Don't do this to Senpai. I thought we had something, Connor. I thought we had something.
You can choose to be friendly, though. It's just that he's choosing not to be. A rabbit, I mean.
I will not go down with this ship.
Just stay out of my way.
And one of us is gonna have a problem, Connor.
So yeah, Hank tries to stop you.
Let you have your way.
One of us is definitely going to die.
Step away from the ledge.
His expression.
Look on his face. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Hold on, Shira wants you guys to listen to this. Listen here.
Fine.
Listen here. Shira wants you guys to listen to this.
What are you gonna do, Hank? You gonna shoot me? I thought android lives mattered to you.
Oh God.
Android
lives matter.
You know what? I'll just stick with fairy lives mattering. Thank you very much. At least those are beings that I can somewhat get behind.
That was the line, though, Jova, when I said that there's only one more thing that they could do to make it even more unsubtle, and it's, yep, the lives matter.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Holy
Oh.
cow.
I remember who I am now. Come on.
Find me IRL, bro.
Oh snap.
He just throws the sniper rifle at you.
You can choose to either throw the weapon at him or to shoot him. I don't know why he chose throw. Maybe he wanted to have a more engaging action fight instead of just killing him with one shot.
I guess maybe
Possible.
throwing it will allow you to fight him without having to kill him.
Well, Java, my guess is Rabbit thought it would be more interesting with an actual proper fist fight rather than just,
Again, like I said, maybe this
Props
is a
for
way
him
to actually
also
fight him without killing
managing to
him.
get all the QTEs.
We're
Oh,
shooting
it's
him
also
with a
the frame rate,
sniper rifle
Jesus.
up.
Walter, it's not like it's hard.
We're shooting him with a sniper rifle up close and personal like that would definitely kill him.
Let me put it like this, Teo. Let me put it
That's
like
the
this,
thing,
Teo.
it's the shaky cam that may impede you, you know.
Not to me, fortunately. Let me put it like this, Teo. This game is kind of the anti-God of War in a way. The QT, it's the other opposite extreme. The easiest QTEs that anybody can get right, basically.
Oh. Don't do this, Connor. Please.
And now the moment of truth.
But I think you said that you can choose to be a deviant in this point still as well.
Hold on.
Moment of truth, Connor.
Oh boy.
What are you gonna do?
You can still choose to spare him.
Of course.
Also, I like this shot.
Yeah, that was actually a fairly well shot moment.
I do like that shot.
And then Hank wakes up in a cave filled with crystals.
Nah, he did.
Of course.
Usually,
You killed Hank Senpai.
How dare you? Oh, and of course they already left.
Huh.
Fuck.
Weapon damaged.
Usually when it comes to, like, for example, if I was playing this particular chapter, I would have chosen the friendly approach, tried to friendly convince Hank that he has to do this instead of being mean like Rabbit chose.
Oh,
but I guess Rabbit was feeling mean that day, I guess.
Is this gonna be an allegory for the gas chambers now?
Dwibs. The entire thing here is a
Press
concentration
X to
camp.
Alice.
Yes, press X to Alice. There you go.
Alice. It's not as impactful as Jason though.
No,
Jason!
no, Valerie Curry can actually act, unlike Pascal and Dale. So no. And keep in mind, everybody, Valerie Curry is French, and she can actually put up a good American accent. So. I guess,
look at that.
so yeah, I guess Pascal, you're just a bad actor.
Luther.
Yeah, Rabbit actually did manage to save Luther properly because maybe he actually knew the choices in advance or something. I don't know. I don't know if this was his blind playthrough or something, but whatever. Maybe if the choices were were not as vague, but whatever. We've rendered enough about this.
Okay, gotta love the line. I see no
evil,
connection. I love how I see no connections to the concentration camps whatsoever. Like, no, this is the kind of...
I still don't understand the point. If you really are threatened by them, why don't you just either, kill them on the spot or reset them like Zlatko was doing?
Well, hold on, guys. It's 9:30 in my area, which means it's my daily time to send Jova a message of death threat because he's African American, so I have to do it. There you go.
That's an oddly specific time.
Oh, hey, look, it's one of
Sure.
Routine is
Remember.
important.
Sure. I'm a white supremacist evil consummate. That's what I do. Here we go. Dear Jova, I'm coming to Rochester to murder your family. So prepare yourself. I know your address. Remember.
To clarify, he is joking.
Shiro, if I have to explain the joke, then
what?
it's not.
You know how YouTubers can be, Pedro.
That's the problem with internet these days.
Yeah, unfortunately, something like this has to be explained sometimes.
Oh my god, they're actually gonna explain.
God damn it, YouTubers, grow a fucking brain.
It's the winds of change.
Or winds of madness. So maybe it's Albert Wesker trying to free them for his own experiments.
God, if only.
Well, to be fair, truth be told, Wesker is more suited in bioengineer. Robotics is not his field.
What's behind these doors?
I don't know.
Death.
Again, I'm so failing to see the point of keeping all these deviants alive in this condition if you really are evil. Like, you're just wasting military resources.
I will give. I want to at the very least give credit in the, like I said, like I was saying, this is actually one of the better aspects of the. Because up until this point, David Cage game. Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's one of the people you can save in Jericho.
Yeah. Remember, we saved Jerry together with Luthor if we manage to save Luthor back in Jericho. So basically, he's willing to help me if I need him.
You saved Jerry in Jericho. Funny.
No one likes a Jerry.
Honestly, Shiroi, no one likes less Todd.
But yeah, like I was saying, again, I will give it credit. Up until this point, David Cage games, different alternate scenarios were always slight variations of the one scenario that, like she always said, the one story that David Cage is trying to tell. However, this is actually the first game of his that actually has genuine different and
climaxes
that take place in completely different places with completely different gimmicks and scenarios. So I will give it credit that this is definitely a huge step in the right direction when it comes to the story branching.
Problem is, first of all, David, you managed to finally accomplish what you were trying to do for a long time, actually, a good chunk of years. Second, as we are experiencing right now in this very couple of days, then too was managing to do this kind of thing on the fucking Game Boy Color. So,
hold on.
Thanks,
Which
David.
Game?
Mario Land 2.
Oh yeah.
So, good to know, David. Just nobody results with Steam ports.
Not only that, but here's part of the issue here.
Well,
yes, there's
okay,
a lot of.
Hold on, Java. I'm sorry, if you'll allow me, let me just rebut it to real quickly. Well, Joe, to be fair, it's much easier for a Game Boy game, a platform game without voice acting, without expensive, without development that costs a lot of money to do. Whereas with a game like this, it becomes a lot harder to do something like this because there's a lot of money that goes into making all of these different scenarios. So it's not as easy as with a Game Boy platformer.
That's not really a good excuse, honestly. If anything, then they should adjust.
Not to mention, the easy answer to that is, well, work around all this condition. Maybe stop jerking off to maximum graphical setting and, fill in the gaps.
Exactly. True. It's the kind of thing I say to Square Enix whenever they waste all their budget on uber-realistic graphics or anything. It's like, well, work around your budget so you can do better with it. Also, a bit of a problem I have with this game is like, oh, yes, there's a lot of variety, but literally the only way to get what is considered the best ending, i.e. all characters surviving and whatnot, and, humanity accepting robotics, is only one specific way. Like, that's
also,
a lot to swallow.
Good to know that Markus conquered the other trenches on the road off screen.
Whoa.
Charge!
There
Close
we go.
enough.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, guys, I got it. For Frodo! Just ignore that other
Pretty
guy.
much.
Java, remind me, what's that chant that T'Challa is singing with the rest of his nation and at the end of.
Oh, it's about of Wakanda
right,
and stuff.
But what's the actual word? I forgot what the word itself.
Laugh
Right after they come out of the portals, and they're like, no, right before Captain says, Avenger.
Oh god, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
To TV tropes, because there's usually
But Captain, we're already assembled.
Well, assemble again.
Andro, assemble.
Nope, I'm not. This game is not worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you think the is as fun as the Metal Gear Solid, think again, because in typical David Cage fashion, it's a very scripted battle sequence.
But
Kind of hard to enjoy.
This would be see if this was a good game like A Way Out, we would send cover-based shooting mechanics like A Way Out did. However, the cover-based shooting of this section is incredibly.
However, this is not A Way Out.
So.
Oh, look at that!
Well, remember, Shiro, that's the A Way Out did kind of do a similar thing, except at the end, in the climax of Way Out, the game introduces from that point on, the game basically becomes a cover-based shooter. To the particular.
Not only that, Joseph, for a sequence like this, would have managed to make it one, more awesome, and two, squeeze in at least 3 or 4 types of movie reference at the same time very effectively.
You know.
Sorry, David, get your game on.
Hey guys, I saw Scarface for the record.
You know, that's
anyway.
another thing actually. It's like, well, to compare this also to, a game of similar value, but with way less endings.
There's the war cry, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll just copy paste it.
Alright, then let me see.
Yibambe?
Oh yeah, Yabambe!
There we go.
There you go, Jova, go ahead.
No!
Well,
No! I am not going to disgrace the awesomeness of Black Panther with this game.
Why are we using, those star-shaped, big things near the New Jersey? Usually used in naval, carpet construction fields here. Is this the bay? No, it's what? No, actually no. There was the concentration camps, so it must be somewhere else.
No, well, actually, too, no. There's actually a concentration camp nearby.
That's what I mean. Like, no, what I said is that those type of obstacles usually done in areas where you construct ships. So I was asking, well, are we near the bay? But that can't be.
That would require David Cage to be good at world building. And,
guys, what time are you at?
I'm sorry. No, he had to, research about the city of Detroit in order to actually properly get the locations and, at some point filming something there, So at least a simple research with Google Maps should suffice.
Sorry, Gio, that's asking too much of him. Anyway,
It
what
shouldn't
time
be
are you guys
asking
at?
too much of him, but it is.
Come on, pigs! Oh, come on, apes! You want to live forever!
So I think I asked for time.
I did.
There you go.
Go to 27:30.
The basic gist of it is whenever you want to, you have to give orders to your troops by saying either charge.
Almost there.
I'm at 27:30.
Almost there.
Tell them to either charge or do some covering fire for you. That way you can make yourself run forward without. There it goes. And there's always the probability of success right there in the corner, telling you what's the probability. So basically, I'm guessing the attempt is. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. And go.
I guess what David is trying to go for here is that it's more about the tactics themselves rather than the actual shooting. The problem is that it's very basic and bare bones.
And looks boring. Like, look at this.
It is.
Oh
it is
shit,
boring.
it's a tank.
Oh good, can things finally get interesting?
I didn't get this climax during my first playthrough, but I did do it in a subsequent playthrough while getting the platinum. And it's not that fun to play.
I mean, for a climax,
oh my god, are we seriously doing the slow-mo?
Oh god, that explosion looked terrible. For a climax, this doesn't even look exciting. Like, I mean, it's in a bland environment. It's in a bland setting.
The pace should be a bit faster.
That
Things
too,
should
yeah.
move a bit faster overall.
That would require David to be a good director too. So
Again, that's sort of part of the issue with making these all one big chapter collective thing. I get that, you know, some events do converge here and there, but maybe they should alter it properly for when, you know, things flow better.
How dare you speak?
see how despicable, right?
Don't care.
Oh wait, so wait.
Don't worry, Jova. Nobody
there's
does.
Jova, you heartless monster.
I'm
That
sorry.
too, yeah.
I'm sorry. Now we're dismantling them like that.
Why not just do that from the get-go and reset them?
Oh, also, for some reason, apparently the androids can communicate telepathically now. For some reason.
Yeah,
Sure, why
yeah,
not?
yeah. There's this weird thing where apparently all jury robots can communicate with other jury robots. So does this mean that Kara could actually communicate with other Kara robots? And why are we only establishing that now?
You
So
see,
how
Jova.
to get to Alice?
You see, Jova. In the world of David Cage's writing,
Again with RA9.
this is how things work. If you need something to happen, just make it happen. It doesn't matter if it fits or if it makes sense within the context of the universe. Let's just have it happen.
Because
Also,
that'll
Jova, I
be-
think what you're about to get here is your gas chamber metaphor.
I mean, how do you even gas an android?
I don't know.
Like, they don't breathe.
Maybe I think they pull them apart.
Send the Jerry's.
Well, they melt
isn't,
them.
isn't that adorable, Shiroy? Jova's expecting logic from a David Cage game.
That's cute.
I'm not expecting it. I'm just waiting to see how he botches it up.
So yeah, I can either ask the scarred androids to make some noise or send Jerry. However, Kara doesn't want to sacrifice anyone, so we'll use the scarred androids as a diversion. They're going to start, distracting the guards.
So what's stopping the guards from shooting them to quiet them?
We don't even see her.
Wait, what?
These are worse guards than the one in Metal Gear.
Don't worry, Jova. The guards are complete morons, so they don't even notice what's going on. We're fine. You're making the owl guy from Metroid, from Metal Gear 2 look intelligent.
Oh, here we go.
So there you go.
Showdown.
So there you go. Since Connor failed with the sniping thing,
Yeah,
he comes here and take the fight straight to Markus.
Here's an idea, Connor. Less one-liners, more action.
Oh, there you go. Taking cue from your automata, you can choose who to control at the end of this fight.
So does this mean that if Connor wins, he gets accidentally impaled on his own sword?
Sure, why not?
That was
It makes
weird.
sense in context. Don't worry.
I hope so. I'm the one to read that. Feels like a part of cheat cop. Whack.
Black.
You know, this fight would be more entertaining if it had the Batman text.
Again, the
Whack.
shaky
So
cam doesn't
boring.
help.
And yeah, the shaky cam really does not help.
Like I said, David Cage is not just a shitty writer; he's also a shitty
Also,
director. He cannot, for the life of him, make any of his scenes visually interesting.
Hey, I got a question. Connor
Yeah, that one moment that Shira pointed
Oh,
out.
snap.
But that's about it. That's like that moment that Shira pointed out when he
Oh.
dropped Hank. That was most likely an accident. But go ahead, Jova.
So here's my question. Connor literally has the military right behind him. Why didn't he just send in the military to get
Mission
Markus
failed.
after he was down, rather than
Because
confront him
apparently
right there?
Markus and his army already killed all of the military.
I'm
Jova.
sorry, where
Including
does
the
that bazooka
tank?
come from? Where is
Hold on,
it?
Jova. Hold on, Jova. There you go. Now the tanks are done. There
So
you
here's my question. Why didn't the tanks just fire on Markus while he was down?
It needs just a single bazooka missile to blow it up.
I'm sorry. Why didn't the tank just fire on Markus while he was clearly down?
You know, Jova, I think I prefer the
Oh,
peaceful
and somehow
alternative.
North's alive.
Because this ending is actually more schlocky. Surprisingly.
No,
We did
no,
it!
no.
We
The singing
saved
is
the
still
androids in the camp.
the singing is still more schlocky, but don't get me wrong. This is a close second to the good ending.
Of course, it's just the beginning.
Which means that you did it the wrong way, I guess.
So there you go.
No.
If you succeed with Markus, that means that Kara will be saved.
We're together, Alice.
If you don't succeed with Markus, Kara and Alice will die right here.
As long as we have each other.
Yeah, pretty sure that those things are supposed to be gas chambers.
Pretty much.
Well, do we ever... Okay, Pedro. As soon
No,
as...
but for this type of command, the guards are more
David
gentle in
K-
tone.
Sorry, Jova, but David Cage really wants to shove his allegory right up your ass. He really wants to shove it right in there. It doesn't
Also-
matter how forced it is. He
Also,
will do
gotta
it.
love how the guards are allowing 2 androids to enter at the same time when the spot of Kara should be only 1. Like, what the hell? Oh, look at that. The British are coming! The British are coming!
British are coming.
Hide your tea? I don't know.
Hide your tea, hide your corgis.
Hide your Kool-Aid. I love how
Hide your
everyone is
Starbucks.
just... I love how everyone just feels very confused. Like they don't know what their line is or something. They say, just act natural.
I guess we can just step outside while no one else does for some reason.
We're safe!
And the others are still standing there.
You know, the Shiri doesn't know because we commentated on this movie just with boys. But Roberto Benigni, you know, the guy who did that terrible Pinocchio adaptation, he was famous for winning an Oscar with, well, some could consider an Oscar bait movie. A movie called Life is Beautiful, a movie that talks about a Jewish family, you know, in the kingdom of Italy, that passes through this entire thing and has the entire last portion taking place in a concentration camp, and not spoiling the ending because, you know, it's particular. It's not what you think. And it's 10 times more emotional that whatever David is trying to convey with this. I know it's an obvious statement at this point now, considering everything we have been passing through, but honestly, I think it's a good case to reiterate, because as Pedro noticed, there are actually people who fell for this. Mind you, I can understand partially in a sense that emotional value can be manipulated through the through different types of techniques.
Well, that's what David has been doing since 2010 too, I would argue.
That's the thing. I will not fault you if you have been not tricked, but if you generally believe like this. But what Pedro states is also true. Don't start saying that you think Dead alone redeems entirely the game, because you have to remember this thing as a whole. And as a whole, this thing it's just a pile of fancy garbage. Because otherwise, I would have to consider this game quote-unquote good just because I like the branching path choices.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean... So there's branching choices. Other than that, there are some good story moments, but that's all they are, story moments.
The worst setting possible. That's the problem, Jova. Pedro told me a couple of weeks ago that if, I forgot what the exact phrase was, but if this type of gameplay choices were combined with, for example, the paranormal stuff, the wacky paranormal stuff that's present in Beyond Two Souls, maybe, just maybe, a very interesting product can come from that game, from a game like that.
Not just that too, like I've said before, I'll take Beyond Two Souls over this game, the linear story and all, because Beyond Two Souls was more fun to watch in play. This game is either disgusting or just plain boring. Beyond Two Souls' schlockiness was so easy to make fun of, especially in the Navajo chapter. The Navajo chapter is I still find that chapter genuinely hilarious. This game there's a couple funny moments, and to be fair, the Connor Hank subplot is genuinely endearing, despite still having problems. God damn. Yeah.
Gotta love how Markus actor slash voice actor slash mocap gets his voice cracked through the speech 9 times out of 10.
He just gets worse with every game.
You know what's sad? This is literally...
Maybe he was just raging,
You know
like,
what's-
so much that he
Maybe
lost his
maybe this
voice.
was literally the last scene where he had to shoot and he was giving up. Or
He,
had, like,
was
his
giving
voice.
it his all,
He's
so he
like,
ruined his voice.
Fucking hell, where's my paycheck?
You know what's cheap is that this is literally the same ending as the good ending, only just different
Okay,
content.
why don't you reactivate your skin now? I'm sure you can now at this point. Can't you?
I guess.
To show the hardships that they've been through.
I guess so. Yeah.
What a disaster.
So yeah, everybody, that was a cool example of how you can variate your choices and make a radically different climax. So it serves to give a good example of how different your playthroughs can be depending on your choices. One particular outcome that I like that makes it really funny is the making a playthrough where Connor dies every single possible time.
Yeah.
Because it's always funny to see Hank reacting to the fact that he sees Connor die over and over, and yet he always comes back. So it creates a funny dichotomy. Unfortunately, it makes it really hard to next to impossible to get into the friend path with Hank. But it still creates a hilarious effect nonetheless. So if you want to play the game in a hilariously different way, I'd recommend doing that.
Allow me to make a bit of a sandwich analogy here and there. Like, well, it lacks a good start and a good end, writing-wise, for pretty much all the characters, except for maybe Connor. And even with Connor is, again, 1/3 of that slice, whereas the meat in between is a mix-mash of poop, crap, road
That was
apples,
a terrible sandwich.
and then there's actually some finely made steak in some bits. The finely bits of steak being the good points for Connor.
Steak.
The problem is that you've got to go through a lot of excrement to get to that steak. And even then, the outer loaves of bread are only 1/3 good on both. Actually, no. It's only 1/3 good on the beginning. And by the end, by the other
Tasty.
tail end, everything tastes terrible.
So Dibs, you haven't said much. What do you think of the alternate ways the climax can go, as I've shown here? Very good.
Okay, to be more
See you for the other extra part.
I want to be a bit more elaborate.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, some of them. I mean, the Hank one was the best one at the video that we've seen in this video, because we actually like Connor and Hank. So seeing it end like that was actually genuinely heartbreaking.
That's the cool thing is that Rabbit chose to go full evil Connor, but you can choose to be friendly and kindly tell him, "Please, Hank, don't stop me. This is my mission. I have to do this." And then when Hank tries to stop you, you can still choose to spare him. So you can choose to have him spare him. So
I'd also like to... Sorry.
No. Actually, let Libs finish first. Go ahead.
But the rest of it, though, is just it's kind of silly, if I'm honest. And honestly, I've seen much better war fights, in film.
Sure.
And in video games, arguably.
Even video games. Metal Gear Solid 4 did this just fun. But anyway, Shira, you were saying?
Yeah, since Dwibs just mentioned that part, as I told Pedro when we were first watching this video in its entirety, that whole scene between Connor and Hank on the rooftop would have felt very much like the final boss for A Way Out if it was handled by a better writer in the first place.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what we got.
Yeah, that's basically what they're trying to go. He's trying to go for the unlikely partners and then with a tragic rift between the two that causes...
like just the impact of that scene,
you need to,
with it, but no.
No. Play A Way Out if you want to see something like that done properly, everybody.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
see everybody for the final extra sport.
See ya.
Yeah.